Hello everybody, welcome. It's a life update slash news update vlog. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching another My Argonauts video. I'm back in Japan. Maybe you recognize the apartment. I got a new poster there. Some new things. I got a Domo-kun Superman figure in America. Ironically, these are very popular in America. I've never seen them in Japan. So hopefully I will get some more. Batman, perhaps, etc. He'll probably go to work and be on my desk at work. I also got some bottle caps while I was in America. Oh my god, my favorite candy. They're like sweet tarts. And they're just, sugar pills basically flavored. But for some reason they're hard to find. I went all over in California and I finally found them at this mall sweet shop. Sorry while I chew. How are you? How's your September? Incredibly exciting Sumo Day. As you can see, I'm geared up here. This is Senshiraku, which means the final day of the Sumo 15-day basho, the 15-day tournament. And we've kind of got a wunderkind, a bright new star from Mongolia, taking the sumo world by storm right now. His name is Ichinojo, and he fought the Grandmaster, the Yokozuna, Hakuho yesterday and lost, but still could play him again in a playoff today if Hakuho loses in the final match of the day. So an exciting weekend of sumo has been happening, and I'm just getting ready to start, work again on Monday. Classes start on Wednesday, the 1st of October. So, as you can see from the title of this video, I wanted to do a little life update and just let you know that I'm back in Japan and things are good. And also to tell you about this article that I read. I put my newspaper on hold while I'm in America, and this was the very first one back in my mailbox when I got back on Tuesday, September 23rd. And again, some of you actually live in Japan that watch these videos. I want to stress again, you should subscribe to a newspaper. The Japan News, what's the other one? The Asahi Daily or something. Because, they're not cheap. This one's like $36 a month, which, that's a sizable amount when you do it per year. But it gives you every day something to read in English. It's got stuff where it helps you learn Japanese and vice versa that you can use in eikaiwa classes and regular classes. It's got pictures of people that you can cut out, make, boards with. It's got, the TV listings for the day. It's got sports news, and it's not American-centric, so if you're British or Australian or something, it does talk about rugby and cricket and baseball and football and soccer and all these different sports. It gives you a good dose of Japan news in English so you can understand what's happening in your own country where you're living, in case you don't watch the nightly news. So again, just a really quick shout out for a newspaper. I think it's worth every penny, and I get it every day delivered to my home, and I almost read it back to front every day. So yeah, there you go. Get a newspaper. Okay, so the very front page news on this was ALTs to be placed. Sorry, I can't read back and forth. In all primary schools, and you can see there a description of what an ALT is and a little graph of how many ALTs we've had in Japan in recent years. Going back to 2005 when we had a bunch, we had over 5,000 JET program ALTs in the country, and currently we have about 4,100. That doesn't include Interact and some of these dispatch companies and other people, or some municipalities and towns direct hire ALTs. So that doesn't include some of them. But basically, as you guys know, as I've talked about in videos before, the 2020 Olympics is happening in Tokyo, and Japan is really trying to make some strides to, have English be more readily available to people, to be able to be spoken with foreigners when they visit. How many of those foreigners that come for the Tokyo Olympics that summer are going to travel all the way out to, say, Shimane, where I used to live in Izumo Taisha. It remains to be seen, but and certainly in Kyoto and Osaka and Hiroshima and Fukuoka, some of the big cities, and of course all around Tokyo, they'll see a heavy influx of foreigners visiting. Now, a lot of those will be non-native English speakers, Chinese, Koreans, other people, people from Germany, don't necessarily speak English as a first language, but English will become the lingua franca there of the Olympic Games, as I think it almost always does. So, with that in mind, Japan wants to spend some money. They want to throw some money at the problem of, Japanese people, the perception that they're not very good at English, and this says ALTs to be placed in all primary schools. Well, that's a great goal, but it's not necessarily realistic, and we can go into reasons why in a minute. But let me just tell you some numbers here. They want to increase the number. The foreign ministry that's in charge of these things, MEXT, I think is its nickname, wants to increase the number of ALTs by about 2,300 over 5 years as a national project. Combined with ALTs who are hired independently by municipalities, the ministries intend to expand the total number of ALTs to about 20,000, 1.5 times the current level by the 2019 school year. So that's quite a number. They're going to take the starting age for English education, which was 5th grade for a few years now, the 5th year of primary school, and drop it down to the 3rd grade, the 3rd year of primary school. And by 5th grade, it will become an official subject, which means I think that the people that are qualified to teach it in elementary school for 5th and 6th graders will have to go through a different testing process to get their license than teachers do now, because it's just kind of this elective thing that most schools elect to do, but they can bring in an ALT, and it's really just teaching numbers and colors. I mean, it's not difficult. But if it's going to become like an official subject that they're going to do, according to this, how many times per week? Where was the thing? Yes. English lessons will increase from the current once a week to 3 times a week for 5th and 6th graders. 3rd and 4th graders will have English lessons once or twice a week, with frequent ALT visits. And this article does mention the fact that some schools are visited by an ALT practically every week. They have an ALT in residence almost. And other schools maybe get an ALT once every 6 months. And so, I had 5 elementary schools when I first joined JET in 2004, and they added one and another middle school when I stayed a 4th and 5th year. So I had 6 during my 4th and 5th years. And, just doing the 5th and 6th graders, that was a chunk of my time every month. So, but it was impractical almost. Like, I had one school that had 11 kids. I've told you this story many times. Usagi Shogako, tiny little fishing village elementary school, and there was 1 6th grader and like 2 5th graders. So I would go there and teach 3 kids, literally. Sometimes I would teach the whole school. I would just have, because it would be, it's silly for me to drive and go all the way there. But I would have a focus lesson with those 3 kids, and then usually we'd do something fun with the whole kids, and I'd eat lunch with them and then leave. But, I'm teaching 3 kids, that's, the use of my time, as it were. And then, other schools, would have 3 home rooms, of 6th graders and 3 home rooms of 5th graders. So it would take me, just to see each class individually, it would take me all 6 periods of one day, or, 3 periods 3 periods Tuesday and 3 periods Wednesday or something, if I split it up. So this is just good news, I think, especially if you don't mind teaching younger kids. If you want to become an ALT, you want to go through JET, and you're, enthused about, or, like I said, don't mind teaching Shogakusei, younger elementary school kids, there's going to be a demand. But again, like I said, it would be impractical for Usagi Shogako, the school I just talked about, or another one of my schools was Hinomisaki Shogako up near the lighthouse, the famous lighthouse near Taisha, that had about 35 kids. It would be impractical for those schools to have their own ALT all the time, for me to be there, say Monday through Friday. It wouldn't make sense. So you could have those two schools share an ALT, or maybe those two schools and one other school share an ALT. So they've got to look at that. Every elementary school does not need its own ALT, is my bottom line right there. They're just, the numbers don't dictate that they do. And this is what happened when Izumo Taisha got gobbled up by the larger city of Izumo, and they'd said, oh, well, let's put an ALT in every junior high. But some junior highs had like 3 homerooms because there's 100 kids in the whole school. And those poor guys, I knew them, they were bored stiff because, maybe they would have 6 classes a week, something like that. They needed more to do, So it's a good thought, and it's a good direction to go in, and I'm glad the government wants to increase. It says it's going to increase spending from 30 billion to about 50 billion yen annually on English education. Definitely more opportunities for jets to come over, and that is good news. I never thought I would want to do elementary, and I kind of thought I would want to do high school because when I was, I came over as a 35-year-old, and I hadn't interacted with elementary school kids in a long time, that age group. But I loved it. I ended up loving doing Shogako. It's just, it takes a lot of energy. It takes, the kids are just so genki and so, hyper sometimes, and so just want to have fun and everything. And you've got to dance, and you've got head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and, you've got to be really on, I think, to do well at elementary school, as opposed to, say, junior high or high school, where you can, you can still play games and still have fun in class, but it's a different atmosphere. And I think you know what I mean. If you're a young person and you want to teach that age group, I think there's going to be some great opportunities. And if you do, the thing I would recommend to you is study Japanese, because those are the homeroom teachers, unlike, your ALTs who interact with JTEs, Japanese Teachers of English, at the junior high and the high school level. Your homeroom teachers, your HRTs at the elementary school level don't necessarily speak any English. That's going to change maybe, but it's very slowly. And so those are the teachers where the more Japanese you can speak with them to plan lessons and to just, make sure that you're on the same page about what you're doing that day, or when you're coming next, or what's for lunch, or whatever you're talking about, the better off you'll be. So I just wanted to give you that out of the newspaper, some encouraging news for the people that aren't here yet, that are thinking about doing jet in the future. And, go over to my Sumo channel if you want to watch some Sumo. We're going to have some good Sumo stuff going on. And I'll probably have a busy week this week, to be honest. And then at the weekend, it's been the 4 years since I got in my car, so I have to go do something called shaken, which is kind of like a smog test in America, where they make sure it's roadworthy. But I don't have to do that much because I lease my car. But I do have to drive up to where I got the car and drop it off at the dealership, and so I'm going to have a busy weekend is what I'm basically saying. So it might be a while before I make another video, but hang in there. I've got some good ideas for some stuff coming up, and appreciate your patience, while I was in America. Things went well. My dad's doing fairly well, so thank you for all your well wishes on Facebook, etc. And more soon. Okay, guys? Talk to you later. Bye.